Very good morning, everyone. I hope all of you have enjoyed our activity that I told you for previous lesson number 3. Right? Do you remember what was the activity I told you? Yes? Yes. I told you to make a clay pots. Right? I told you to put the difference between the Maharashtra and the Odisha, their farming, or you can say the customs and practices according to their geographical regions. Every region has their own significance, right? So that. What else? Do you remember? Or you can learn the Odisha in 5 words if it is possible, right? Or you can take any other state 5 words, whether it is Malayalam, Tamil, Telugu. Okay, that should be the new for you. You will get the curiosity to know about the other languages, their literature, right? Because we all are united and we would like to know about them. That's why we are doing it. Okay. And in the customs and practices, I told you not only their liturgical skill, but you can see their music, dance, the monuments, the practices that they were doing, the different occupations according to their climatic region, right? It varies. Maharashtra is to the west side and Odisha is to the east side. So again the difference is there in a time period also, right? So think about it, and the presentation you are making it should be different from the others. This thing I told you in that activity. So whichever is suitable for you, for the better availability in your house, according to that only you will select the activity and you will forward it to me. I'm really very eager to know you, that what you have done very creatively, that I want to know. I would like to appreciate all these students. Okay, so in this lesson number 3, from gathering to growing food, I give these kinds of activities to you. I hope very happily you are going to plan it and will complete it. In this lesson, we have seen the varieties of foods also, how these people started farming, herding, and how they have done their domestication, how they have selected these plants and the animals to domesticate, right? How they have started their new life, new methods, or the new way, okay, by using the storing animals or the storage of grains, different models of these baskets. We have seen the picture of duck pits, clay pots, right, that they have made. We have seen the different sites. At these different sites in the excavation, they got the burnt grains, right? No, we have seen the site at Burzoham, that is in Kashmir, right? These beet houses, they used mortars and pestles, right? So all this information we have seen, and most of the time we may remember the closer look about Mehergarh. That Mehergarh, we can see it at the Bolan Pass, that is in Iran. And these people, in their customs or the practices, what they were thinking, that in their burial of any dead person, they buried with goats, because they were thinking about it. After the death of the person, they do have the another world, so this thing may help him as a food for the next life. Okay, and another also we have seen, that was about the Dawjali heading. That Daojali heading that is quite close to the route lead to the China and Myanmar, that place. And that place is also famous for probably growing grains, preparing food from it, and finds the important stone, and that is a jadeite. I hope that you may remember that light green color jadeite, Jadeite stone. Okay. Now, in this lesson number 2, on the trail of the earliest people, we are going to see what they have done in the earliest time. Actually, it is described as a hunter gatherers. They hunted wild animals, caught fish, birds, gathered fruits, roots, nuts, seeds, leaves, stalks, eggs. This kind of food they have mentioned here. Okay, but the lesson starts with a small child Tushar, and this Tushar doing a journey in a train, and that was from Delhi to Chennai. Now, as usual, most of the time we are squeezing ourselves in a train whenever we are getting the seat somewhere. So, like this, Tushar also feeling the same, and he squeezed into the window seat, and according to that, his nose glued to the glass pane. Okay, that window glass pane, and he watched trees, houses. Okay, it goes behind. So his uncle tapped his shoulder and said, "Do you know what trains were first used about 150 years ago? That people began using buses a few decades later." Tushar wondered. He was surprised. And when people couldn't travel quickly from one place to another, did they spend their entire lives wherever they were born? Not quite. So he was really surprised. Then how these earliest people, their way of life very easier. So much efforts they put it to make their life easier, and it is very difficult. Okay, whether very easily we are saying this kind of food they collected, this kind of new things or the methods they have developed, but for every method, for every activity, if you have observed, then you will get the idea that it is very worthwhile. It is not very easy to say it and to do it. According to that, we have to follow the right path. Observation. If you are selecting a simple food also, simple plant also, which were the edible that we have seen in a previous lesson also, then how could they get the methods to choose that plant is an edible? Right? So it's very difficult. Then there were several animals that run faster than us, right? So many that are stronger animals. And to hunt these animals, to catch these fish, birds, that same time you have to be alert, very quick, and have lots of presence of mind. Understood? That's a hunting. Hunting, it's not the easiest thing. To collecting these plants, wherever it produced, you need to find out which plants or parts of plants are edible, which part of that plant can be eaten, and which part of that plant can be poisonous to you. You need to find out. And not only every season you will get the particular plant, right? No, a very simple example, you can take the flowers. Can we get the all kinds of flowers in all seasons? Yes. Or the fruits as well? Absolutely not. In that particular season only you will get all these things. So there were at least 4 reasons that in lesson number 1 also we have seen why these people were moving from place to place. Right? Now in this lesson they have given us the example related the hunter gatherers moved from place to place. First reason they told us here that they would have eaten up all the available plant or the animal resources wherever they stayed initially, and later they would have to go elsewhere in search of food. Second reason, we can say that in search of smaller prey, in search of all these preys like deer, wild cattle, in search of grass, leaves, they need to hunt it. And for according to their movements, this hunter gatherer also had to move. Understood? If these animals also moving from place to place in search of their smaller prey, right? Or in case of this deer and the wild cattle, also in search of grass or the leaves, they need to move from place to place. It means for hunting these animals also we need to move from one place to another place according to their movement. Right? So this was the second reason. Third reason, you can say the plants and trees bear fruit in different seasons, just before I told you. And so according to that, you also need to move from season to season in search of different kinds of plants. Fourth reason, you can consider that plants and animals need water to survive. Initially, also I told you in 2 lessons that they have settled their life near the river banks. Right? No? We have seen the river Ganga, Indus River. Now previous lesson we read about the Brahmaputra. Right? And there are other tributaries as well. So wherever they have settled, but they settled themselves on the bank of river. You know, all rivers are not perennial. Perennial means what? Perennial. Perennial, it means that river is having water throughout the year. It never getting dry. That is a kind of perennial river. Wherever they have settled themselves on whichever river bank, if that river is perennial, then your settlement on the bank of river will be the long lasting. People living on their banks would have had to go in search of water during the dry season. And those rivers are not perennial. Definitely, according to the season, these people have to move from that place because the river is getting dry. Okay, so besides, people may have traveled to meet their friends, relatives. This would be also the another reason, right? No. So these are very attractive pictures that makes us to know about it, to know about them, to understand it, what kind of activities they used to do. Right? No? See, this hunting about the deer. Here you can see the elephant's teeth also, that they put it to the other side, but they have not shown any other thing. Here you can see this previous lesson also we have seen the pig, sheep, dog, wild dog, right? No, how they are doing. Here you can see the fire that they lead. Understood? In this picture. So archaeologists have found some of the things hunter gatherers made and used. Okay, now different kinds of things or the objects these people made to survive in this world. They used tools of stone, wood, and bone as well. Okay, so some of these stone tools were used to cut meat, bone, okay, or the scrap bark and hides, animal skins, fruits and roots. Okay, so for all these activities, for all these actions, we need tools and the weapons also, that is made up by stone, wood, or the bones as well. So here are some pictures. Let me tell you, these pictures tell you that these are the examples of the earliest stone tools that they have used for the different reasons. If you have a textbook, you can look afterwards all these pictures in your textbook as well. So these were made several thousand years later also. So these were made about 10,000 years ago. Okay. And these stone tools may also have been used for digging the ground to collect edible roots, okay, or sometimes stitching clothes made out of animal skin. Okay, in the textbook also you can see these pictures of the stones. See, very different shapes they made it. Now definitely you will get the question in your mind, then for every activity, for every requirement, how they have shaped this stone, right? No, absolutely right, you got the correct question in your mind. Okay, now before that, from where we are getting this kind of stones, then how could we recognize that from this kind of stone only we can give a shape? It would be the durable, it may not get any kind of erosion, right? No, so they need to select it. So where these sites were that they were making, they were having this kind of stones. That particular site is available, and at that particular site they use these stones. Sometimes what happened, no, that they found this kind of places where they got this good quality of stones, and that kind of place is a they call the factory site nowadays. Places where stone was found and where people made tools are known as factory site. Now we can say the blocks of stone, a bigger stone, right? Tools that were made or sometimes discarded also because of some reason. Some reason in the sense, previously I told you, it may not be durable, it may be the erosion type, that it may not ever last long time, okay, or it may be not perfect, that they have observed and experienced. So these were discarded. And the chips of waste stone. Now, whenever you are making any stone or the tool, if you have visited in the market, those were selling this stone tools like mortar and pestles. Previous lesson we have seen, right? No, those were also made up by this stone. Nowadays also in our kitchen we use it, right? So these chips, whenever getting down on the ground, left behind at these sites, sometimes people lived here for longer spells of time. These sites are called habitation cum factory sites. Okay. You understood the difference between the factory site and the habitation cum factory site? Okay. Now we'll turn towards the actual method. How they tried to make these stone tools. Understood? Now, the first method, that is, absolutely this picture may show you. In both hands, they hold the two stones. That is, a first method is stone on stone. So, the pebble from which the tool was to be made was held in one hand, or the core, that if you want to make something, okay, from that particular stone has to be held in another hand, and from another stone you are going to shape to that stone, okay, that is a stone on stone. Another stone which was used as a hammer, and that was held in other hand, and the second stone was used to strike off flakes from the first till the required shape was obtained. This was the first method. Second method, that was the pressure flaking. What is that pressure flaking? Here this core was placed on a firm surface. Now you can put the stone on a firm surface. Now you are not going to hold that stone to which you want to give a shape or the size. Okay, so this core you need to put it on a firm surface, and the hammer stone was used on a piece of bone or stone that was placed on the core to remove flakes that could be shaped into tools. And this hammer stone that you are using to make a shape to this particular stone, this stone is used as a piece of bone or the stone, and that is placed on the core to remove flakes that could be shaped into tools. That was a pressure flaking. So this is another picture that you can see how these people are making the stone tools, right? They do have their in their hand the stones only, small different stones. This is their factory site. Okay. Now see here another picture related pressure flaked edge and flake frontal view. Another force, flake crossed sector, thinning flake. How they have placed this flake, and the another stone they have used it on this, giving a shape. Okay. See here another picture. How Stone Age humans made hand axes. First picture, the process started with a large piece of rock. This is the first step. Second, the humans roughly shaped the rock with a stone hammer. Hammer is which one? Which one is the hammer? To their right hand that they have hold. And left hand, you can see the another stone that they have used to give it to the shape. Third, they have shown it using a hammer made of wood, stone, and another they sharpened the edge of the stone, same stone that they need to give a proper shape or sharpen it, because they are making something, any tool or the axe. They trimmed the edge by prying off tiny flakes with a pointed stick. Now they trimmed these edges now. Previously they have done this proper sharpen edges. Now they need to prying off these tiny flakes from this stone, that they need to pointed stick. From this pointed stick they are going to remove this small tiny flakes, and afterwards you can see this very sharp and finished hand axe. They made it by using stone, wood, or the bone. Understood? This was the pressure flaking. Okay? Got everyone? We'll move next. Let me tell you, factory site, places where people could get plenty of stones for making tools were used as sites for making the tools, and such places are called factory sites. At some places, people also lived at such factory sites. Such sites are called habitation cum factory sites. Got the difference, factory site and the habitation cum factory site? Okay. Next is how these people choose the places. Already we have seen it on the river bank only. They have started their settlement. Okay. And many sites were located near sources of water like a river and the lake, right? No, and these people tried to find places where good quality stone was easily available, whether they are staying nearby the water resources. Okay. how they were moving from one place to another, or in search of food, right? Or this is another picture that they have shown here about the factory site. Bigger stones were there, and from these stones they were using different methods, making the tools and the weapons also. Next we can see about the use of fire. Everyone knows it, right? No, use of fire means, in our primary division also we have seen in our EVS subject that how they have used the fire for making a food or roasting this meat, or to get away from the wild animals, to protect ourselves, right? To lit the lamp in the caves. Okay, different things that to be used by using fire. This one we have seen in this picture also. You can see how they try to get away from this wild animals, to scare these wild animals also, you can say. So this suggests that people were familiar with the use of fire. Fire could have been used for many things, as a source of light, to roast meat, and to scare away animals, right? No, around 12,000 years ago there were major changes in the climate of the world. Okay, so this led to the development of grasslands also, and this in turn led to an increase in the number of deer, antelope, goat, sheep, and cattle. That is, animals that survived on grass. And those who hunted these animals now followed them. Those who were hunting these kind of animals, these people also, or these hunter gatherer also need to move behind them, right? No, to hunt these animals they also need to move according to their movement, and so they need to learn these animals food habit, how these animals breeding in particular seasons only, right? No, and this kind of information they are getting with their experiences, observance that they did. That's why these people started thinking about herding and rearing these animals. Fishing also became very important because they have settled their life nearby the bank of river only, right? So this was also the time when several grain bearing grasses, including wheat, barley, rice, grew naturally in different parts of the subcontinent. The next we can see about the Neolithic. After this age, you can see the after 10,000 years ago, and it is known as Neolithic. And this was the era that was about the Paleolithic. And this paleo means the old, and lithos, that is a stone. Okay, and this is come from the two Greek words, paleo, that is the old, and lithos, it means stone. Okay, when this period going to end, so in this last 10,000 years or the 12,000 years, we call the Neolithic. 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 Next we can think about the another development they did, that was about the paintings on the rocks, in the caves, on the walls, right? No, so how and which kind of painting they did? Rock paintings. In the excavation, This archaeologist got this kind of pictures on the walls, on the rocks. You can see here the above picture is about the deer. Your left hand side there is a picture of giraffe. In middle you can see the picture of cattle or the people, right? Your right side the pictures also they have seen how they are going to rear these animals. It is in a colorful way. Still these colors are, you can say, the durable many more years, right? So this was the importance or the significance of their paintings that they did. Okay, so you have seen that the earliest people hunted these plants or the animals, right? They made these tools by the stone, by the wood. Okay, they have painted on these cave walls, right? And it is, you never find that particularly they have mentioned the men used to do this kind of work or the woman is only doing the kind of work. Okay, it means it is not decided that who is going to do which kind of work. Okay, so that was the main thing that they have mentioned in this lesson. At present, we do not really know about it. However, there are at least two possibilities. There are. It is likely that both men and women may have done many of these things together. It is also possible that some tasks were done only by women and others only by men. Right? So, there could have been different practices in different parts of the subcontinent. Understood? In previous lesson I told you the different customs and the practices. If you are living in a particular region with a particular community or with a particular group of people, they do follow the different customs and practices. So it is also included in this part. So they have given here the example about the site that is a Hansky. Okay. If previously you have seen the picture of Hansky, that picture of, in the sense, the paintings that the archaeologists found, okay, at that particular site. Okay, so that one I'm telling you, a number of early Paleolithic sites were found here. Number of tools, sorts of activities that we found at this site, and this was the habitation cum factory site. And the other sites you can see, that is the smaller sites that you can get the evidence about to suggest only that they made the tools. Okay, and that were close to the springs. Most tools were made from limestone. That was also they have mentioned. And locally also limestone is available. Okay. At the end of this chapter, you can see another picture. Okay, and that was the picture of cattle, wild cattle, that was drawn on the rock. And this painting, the children found it in France. And this site was discovered by 4th school children. That's why they have appreciated this painting also that they found here. And this was between 20,000 to 10,000 years ago. And many of these paintings you will get only the about the animals only, like wild horses, orches, an older wild form of cattle, bison, woolly rhinoceros, reindeer, bear, like that. Okay, that was colored in a very fine way. It was quite attractive. Okay, here also you can see that picture. Your right side second number small square. Okay. I hope all of you understood this lesson very finely, neatly. In your textbook also they have mentioned here some names of sites. You can see here the index first. Paleolithic site, Neolithic site, megalithic site, early villages. They are shown all these in a different color and the shape. Right? You can read this map. Here you can see Daujali heading. It shows in a blue color square. Right? That is to the east side of India. And that blue color square refers for the Neolithic sites. Mehergarh, Burzoham, Daujali heading, Chirand, Koldiva, Mahagara, Payampalli, Halur. These are the Neolithic sites that we can read it very easily because they have given the signs and the colors for these different sites. What are the Paleolithic sites? That is shown in a triangle, red color. Bhimbetka, these pictures we have seen, no? Now the Hansky, here is the Hansky Sea. Can you get it? Red color triangle. Kurnul Caves. Okay. These are the Paleolithic site that we have seen it in this lesson. Understood? Okay, fine. So, your homework. I hope that previous history lesson 1, politics lesson number 1, you may have completed all these questions and answers in your own respective CWs. If you made 100 pages CW, then you can make 100-page book for the history, 100-page book for the geography, 100-page book for the politics. If you have made like this, then history lesson number 1 question answers with extra question answers and revision questions that you need to find the answers. It should be in a sequence as per my instruction. Politics also the same. If you have made 100 pages books, then I am telling. If you made only one 200-page book, then you will make 3 sections: history, geography, politics in the same book. Make a proper sections and according to that particular lesson, note down your questions and answers on the same day. I hope that all of you may have completed your writing work. Okay, because I already resent this PDF. Now, geography lesson 1, I'm going to send it. I hope I was waiting for all your reply. You will complete your activities that I told you in a lesson number 3, history. Second, complete your questions and answers with the revisions. That you need to find out the answers for the revisions. Okay, and the textbook question answers with the extra question answers I already given. Only few last questions I told you to do it by yourself for the practice. Okay, once you're done, let me know that you have completed it. Okay, complete this work on the same date and the day. Okay, everyone, so that you may remember what we have done. Now let's see about the summary of this chapter. The earliest people, reasons to move on, hunter-gatherers moved place to place, stone tools they used for various purposes, different sites with different significance, choosing place to live in, factory sites, habitation come factory sites, methods of making stone tools, about fire, rock paintings, Hansgi, right? These many things we have learned very easily and we do remember, right? I hope all of you will follow all these instructions. Okay? Thank you so much. Take care.